Hello, I'm back. My name is Norita Roy Chaudhary. I have a PhD in law and development. If you're curious to read more about my work, please go to the description box of this channel, Planet Decolonized. And I would be very grateful if you would like, share, and subscribe to this channel and share all the videos, because essentially Planet Decolonized is a consciousness raising project to raise awareness on socio-ecological crises and economic crises, including biodiversity crisis, climate change, and economic inequality that is happening at the planetary scale today. Capitalism as violence. Why is capitalism a violent form of an economic system? So that brings me to the first question. What do I understand by violence? So violence occurs when boundaries are breached. So then that brings me to the second question. What do I understand by boundaries? So boundaries are basically limits and rules that set go and no-go areas and conditions that are acceptable and unacceptable for societal actors to live well within environmental limits. So boundaries are, they could be physical, such as the fences and the concrete walls within which we are living. They could also be material in the form of nation-state territories that are created through the social and political construct of maps. Boundaries can also be natural, very importantly, because they set environmental limits within which that are safe for human functioning on this planet. Boundaries are also personal, and that include mental boundaries and bodily boundaries for emotional and psychological safety, and that also includes right to bodily autonomy. Then finally, boundaries are also epistemic, that decides what counts as valid knowledge and what is left out of the realms of knowledge. So now, capitalism is violent because it systematically breaches these boundaries in two ways because of its expansionist drive. The first expansionist drive is the inward drive of commodification, which attaches monetary value to every form of life and every resources for it to be exchanged in the market. The second drive is the outward expansionist drive that happens through processes of primitive accumulation involving extraction, expropriation, and dispossession, none of which are happening within the realms of our visibility. So, for example, if I have this pen right now, and just because I buy this pen from the shopkeeper doesn't mean I'm in a voluntary exchange with people who have been dispossessed to make this pen a reality. Capitalism also breaches epistemic boundaries because it compromises our cognitive capacities by reducing our mindsets and interpretive logics to the realms of the market. And it manipulates what we consider as value and what we consider as valuable. So essentially, in short, capitalism is a violent system because it systematically breaches boundaries, including natural boundaries, through its expansionist drive that constantly requires new forms of resources, new forms of imperialism, new modes of colonization. Then it breaches physical and material boundaries, and it also breaches personal boundaries because, for example, why do you think so many workers are underpaid despite working for 12 to 14 hours per day? So then, if a corporation and a state expropriates indigenous lands and the lands of racialized communities to justify economic growth and qualify them as backward and uncivilized populations who need development, essentially what the corporations and states are doing is they are violently breaching each of these boundaries and at the same time devaluing their attachment to the land, to their ancestors, and other forms of understanding the world and relating to the land. And with that, I end this video. See you again for next video based on a topic that inspires me. And thank you. Peace.